Hi guys, welcome to the garden. When it comes to growing fruit trees, just like this one here, it can be quite difficult to know exactly which type of bud am I looking at. Whether that's going to be a flowering bud that will go on to produce fruit, or is it a vegetative bud that is going to go on to produce woody structures that will form the base framework of your tree instead. So the purpose of this stint of videos that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be showing a closer look exactly how I would go about identifying these buds. So that when it comes to things like pruning later on in the winter, you know you're not going to accidentally be removing any of your potential fruiting wood and losing next season's harvest. So in today's video, I'm going to be focusing on pears. And we have two lovely trees that we can use to show examples of these different buds. Starting off firstly with this lovely Espalier pear tree, which is my current pride and joy in the garden. This particular variety is called Williams Bon Cretin. And our second tree to the left of me, a French variety known as Diorne de Commerce. And although this tree is relatively small and I've yet to taste its fruit, it's absolutely ram-packed with these fruiting buds. So fingers crossed, all of these buds will go on to setting fruit and I'll finally get to taste this amazing variety that I've heard so much good things about. So before I give you a close-up of these buds, it is worth noting there is a certain time of year where the differences between these two buds will become more apparent. And for us here in the UK, that will be late autumn. So around mid to late November. And the reason for this is, by this time, the immature buds that started forming from midsummer onwards have had plenty of time to differentiate and reach their final mature stages. And it's at this point where we can start to see those key differences. So let's start with the vegetative buds. These are often best found on new one-year-old growth with an upright growing habit, often known as water shoots. And as you can see by the bud here, they often are small, slender, have a pointy tip that often lie extremely flat and parallel with the branch itself. Another great example can be seen on the laterally trained branches of this Espalier pear tree, and although a different variety, the bud characteristics remain the same, showing these characteristic pointy structures that again lie flat and parallel with the branch itself. If I did want to extend this branch further, which I do not because it has reached the end of the trellis, I'd simply cut back to this bud, and that would encourage new vegetative growth. However, if unpruned, this is most likely to become a set of leaves this year and then may go on to form a fruiting spur in the years to come. Onto our fruiting buds. So these are often best found either at the tips of the branches, like so, or on these shorter, stubbier structures known as fruiting spurs, of which we have many on this branch. And already, as you can see, these buds, not only are they larger and plumper, they also have this fuzzy, downy texture to them that makes them a lot easier to identify in comparison to our vegetative buds. These fruiting buds are a little less noticeable on our Espalier pear tree. However, due to the spurring nature, they are still relatively easy to locate. And as you can see by this fruiting bud in front of me, it is still clearly bigger and larger than the vegetative buds to the left of them. So fingers crossed, these will go on to open and produce anywhere between 5 to 7 flowers. And those will then, if pollinated successfully, produce our fruit. I probably need to thin this out if all 7 got fertilized, but I'm more than happy to leave a couple on each of them. So I hope this short little video has enabled you to have some confidence when it comes to identifying both fruiting buds and vegetative buds on your pear trees. And if you're interested in identifying different buds on plums, apples and blueberries, please stay tuned because I'm hoping to do videos on those also. Otherwise, all the best.